What's going on, guys? AJ here at the House of Masks, and today I wanted to bring a slightly special video, just something a little out of the ordinary from what I normally post here on the channel. So, today's video, the history of Herbie. These guys here, these are called Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusions props. This is called the Fresh Death, and these two are called Zombie. So it's Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusions Fresh Death and Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusions Zombie. Basically, these are props that you put your hand into. They appear to have a hand on top. That way when you hold them, it looks like you are holding this thing that is actually moving around, and it's just kind of freaky. I think they're cool. So, the reason I'm covering this is because of Buckethead. For those of you unfamiliar with Buckethead, I suggest that you go look him up right now. You will get lost for days on YouTube watching this guy. He is a guitar player. He has played with Primus, Guns N' Roses. He's played with Surge from System of a Down. He has played with Praxis, just unlimited amounts of bands. But as a solo artist, he is incredible. And he's a very weird dude, as you can tell by his name. His name is Buckethead. Nobody really knows anything about him. He's always been masked. I think there's like 2 real photos of him online out of his mask, and he released both of them. So definitely an odd guy, and definitely one of my favorite musicians. Now, how does Herbie come into play in this, and where does the name Herbie come from? Well, I don't actually know where he got the name Herbie, but he uses a Beheaded Illusions prop like this zombie here, same style paint. He ripped the foam out, which these are very squishy foam, like basically masks once you take the foam out. So he ripped his foam out, tucked the tongue all the way in, and he uses it on stage for parts of his songs that have talking in them, like samples. He also uses them for interviews, stuff like that. He has used both versions of these, and he currently uses one like this that has all the hair removed and eyeballs painted on, which I will add a photo of right here so that you can see it. Most Buckethead fans would know this as the real Herbie. He's used it on album covers, and he used it most of the time that he was touring, which he just recently stopped touring and then came back from like a 4-year absence and switched to this one. But he's used this one in conventions and stuff like that, which I'll also add photos of so you can see all of his different ones. This is an unconverted Herbie. Call it unconverted because all of the foam is left in and his tongue is sticking out. None of the snot is ripped off. He's not painted to look like Buckethead's Herbie. And somewhere in between these two, this was the last one to leave the factory. I actually contacted Ed about this. I contacted Janine about it a couple years ago. I think it was like 2014, and she searched for me and found one and said it was the last one they had, but it was in rough shape, so they were going to fix it up for me, and then I got it. So Ed did some touch-ups on the paint. As you can see, they are drastically different in paint, which is cool because I like this one how it is, and when I got it, I didn't want to convert it like Buckethead's at all. I wanted to wait until I found another one. These pieces are extremely rare, so it is hard to come by them. I know of maybe like 8 or 10 of them that are out there, which I will add photos of at the end of this video so you can see how they've all varied. I'm also going to add some catalog pictures of all of the Distortions, Illusions props. There was 4 heads released at the time that Herbie was released. It was the Herbie heads, which is the zombie heads. There was Rat Girl, which is a girl that has a rat in her mouth, and you can wiggle a rat around. There was this fresh head, which the mouth opens and closes. And there was one more called Death Eater. I'm pretty sure it's called Death Eater. And it's basically like a skull zombie, and the mouth opens and closes on that as well. So yeah, this is the last one to leave the factory. I'll go ahead and show you an overview of that real quick. You see that the hair is completely different, the paint is completely different, and I will squeeze these tops to show you the difference in the foam. I'm not sure why Ed switched the foam, or Distortions in general switched the foam that they were filling them with, but the foam in this Herbie is a lot softer than the foam in this Herbie. I'm not sure why. I know it makes these a little bit harder to convert, but it is what it is. This one isn't made for converting anyways. I like it just as a distortions piece. So I'll go ahead and show you this one, then I will show you this one. I'll show you what they do, and I'll show you the backside of them. Alright, so this is going to be the back side of the prop where your hand goes in. You can see you would stick your fingers in this very, very small hole inside of the hole, and you would wiggle the tongue around, and it would look like your hand was actually up here holding the head by the hair. So I'll go ahead and put my hand in there and show you guys a little bit of what that action looks like. So this would be the style that Buckethead used on stage and for interviews and such, and by converting it and ripping all the foam out and tucking the tongue in, it really gave this prop a much weirder, bizarre look, and he was able to actually make it more of a puppet where he could open and close the mouth and it would talk for him because he does not speak in interviews and such. So Herbie would be his voice, and he would talk to you like this, and it was just very odd, and I always thought it was awesome, so I was very happy to get the two that I got. I actually could not believe that I found a converted one until my friend Mike Covert, who you guys, most of you will know, he hooked me up, so appreciate it, Mike. So this is going to be the last Herbie head that I talk about today. It's also the last one that he's used. I just saw him last month on tour, and he had one of these that had the eyelids painted over to look like eyeballs and all of the hair ripped out, which gives it, once again, a much stranger look than it does. It just doesn't look like it's supposed to be anything, and this is how this one would move around. Just kind of make the mouth open and close a little bit. Ed tried to get me to contact Buckethead a couple years ago to figure out if we could work out something with him and Distortions to release maybe like a signature line of props, and that guy is impossible to get a hold of. I tried my best and did a lot of research, and I could not get a hold of him. So unfortunately there won't be a line of Buckethead Herbie heads anytime soon, unless somehow Buckethead sees this and is interested. I could not contact any managers, anything like that. It was also during his absence, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put some catalog pictures up and some pictures of other people's Herbies, some photos of Buckethead with his different Herbies, just so you guys can see. Once again, these were released in 1997 as a part of it was called the Distortions Unlimited Beheaded Illusions line, and there was 4 designs initially. So yeah, these are mine. These are not for sale, of course, but if you do find one, I recommend buying it. Even if you don't want to keep it, a Buckethead collector would give you good money for these, and I would assume a Distortions collector would give you good money for them too, because they're just really cool pieces. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Maybe share it around, show your Buckethead friends or your Distortions friends. So if you guys would like to see more stuff like this, I know this isn't usually what I do, just kind of history of, typically it would be with a mask, but these props are just way too cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.